A new development tonight in that school bus assault case. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Well, a fourth person has now been linked to an assault on a county school bus earlier this month. Katera Jones is standing by at the courthouse in Upper Marlboro with more details.
That's right. The judge has ordered that the suspect, who we now know is a 14-year-old girl, will be held on a no bond status. We also know that she will be transferred to juvenile detention. Now, all of this stems from an incident back in Oxon Hill where several teens boarded a bus and attempted to shoot a student on board, but that gun malfunctioned. Now, during the suspect's bond hearing, the state's attorney's office is saying that the teen girl allegedly planned the attack.
All three suspects that have been arrested in this case are charged with attempted first-degree murder. I, again, impress upon parents to know who your children are hanging out with, know what they are doing, what they're getting into, because oftentimes, and I'm not just talking about this case, but we hear parents say, my child's a good child, that they weren't involved, I can't believe it, but believe it. It happens. Unfortunately, far too often in our communities, young people are making adult decisions that have adult consequences. My office has no choice but to pursue justice, and that's what we're going to do.
A hearing on this case is set for June 2nd. In Upper Marlboro, I'm Katera Jones, CTV News.
A Landover Hills family is asking for help in finding a missing person who suffers from schizophrenia. This is 24-year-old Nicholas Baumgartner. His family reported him missing to the police at the end of April following a recent hospitalization. Baumgartner is about 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs 240 pounds.
He's a young man that struggles with mental illness. He also struggles, with losing his mother and trying to find a way, to survive and navigate this very complicated system. I can see myself try to help him, especially from far away. It's very difficult. And I actually need help from people to see if we can, first of all, locate him. And then any help that anyone can provide for me to help him get into a frame where he can be fine. He can be safe. He can get the help he needs.
Anyone who may know where Baumgartner is asked to call police. Well, a Maryland state trooper is hospitalized following an accident in a work zone construction site in Montgomery County. It happened on the inner loop before I-495 at University Boulevard at around 4:30 this morning. The trooper was in his vehicle in the work zone, lights flashing when he was rear-ended by a Mercedes SUV. The injured trooper was taken to a shock trauma center in Baltimore. The driver of the SUV also taken to a hospital. Charges are pending. And one adult and 2 children are displaced following a house fire in Accokeek. The call went out just before 12:30 this morning on the 700 block of Edeling Court. Investigators say the 2 kids were treated for minor injuries. 1 dog died in the fire. The cause is still under investigation. The Red Cross, we're told, assisting with housing. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. More in just a bit. Stay tuned. Welcome back. A former high school basketball star who's paralyzed over a decade ago graduates from college. This is Damon Brooks. He, along with hundreds of other seniors, graduating today from the University of Maryland. After graduating from Springbrook High School in Silver Spring, Brooks went to Goucher College to play basketball, but an accident in his dorm room left him paralyzed. Fast forward to today, he gave the student speech at UMD's Philip Merrill College of Journalism.
Journalism has afforded me the ability to stay involved and do 2 things that I have a great passion for, which is writing and sports. I've made lifelong friends and mentors at Merrill who have been encouraging, supportive in my journey to become a sports journalist. Through my encounter with adversity, I have learned valuable lessons that have driven me to this special day with all of my outstanding classmates. Sometimes you can't control what knocks you down in life. Staying down is a choice. But what we can control is our attitude, our impact on others, and our ability to keep pressing forward despite the circumstances.
Brooks is on his way to becoming a sports journalist. Well, it was a cap and gown day in Upper Marlboro this morning. The Surrattsville High School class of 2023 had their commencement ceremony at the Showplace Arena. As you can imagine, there were some very proud family members excited to support the graduates.
Today I have my nieces, 2 of them, they are twins. Destiny and Desiree are graduating today, so I'm so proud of them. And I want to make sure they know that I'm here for them. If they want to go further to college, I want to encourage them to go ahead. Auntie is here.
My nephews, Dakari and Daquan Logan, have done an excellent job all 4 years. They've, excelled academically as well as extracurriculars. They've been on the football and lacrosse teams, and I'm just so proud of them.
And stay tuned to CTV this week as we continue to cover the graduating classes of 2023. Well, the Prince George's Community College nursing program has received a huge federal check to the tune of $970,000. Congressman Steny Hoyer and U.S. Senators Chris Van Hollen and Ben Cardin presenting the check to the college on Friday.
This is tremendous for the nursing program because there's such a nursing shortage in our workforce across the state of Maryland. So this allows us to double the size of our program as well as to distribute it across the county. That opens access, increases the number of graduates, and then lends to our workforce more qualified nurses. So we are extremely grateful for these funds.
The funding will expand the college nursing program to help address the regional nursing shortage. Well, Maryland became the 23rd state in the nation to commit to a permanent community solar program when Governor Wes Moore signed it into law less than a week ago. CTV spoke this morning with Nautilus Solar Energy, which owns 4 community solar sites in Prince George's County, including this one in Bowie. The company says it wants to bring clean, affordable energy to all households, especially low to moderate income families.
The state of Maryland has a goal of going 100% renewable by 2035. So the new community solar bill ensures that community solar farms like this one here are here to stay and will continue to be built. So if you sign up for a solar energy farm, then you are guaranteed a discount, 10 to 25%. If you are considered a low or moderate income subscriber, then you get up to a 25% discount off of your utility rate. This site serves BG&E territory, and there's 300 customers that utilize the energy here. They're all part of the community solar program and receive a discount on their bill.
The law goes into effect on July 1st. Well, an organization that serves as an advocate for foster care youth faces challenges as it looks to move forward. As we reported last week, Yolanda Johnson is the new executive director of Court-Appointed Special Advocates, also known as CASA of Prince George's. The group has just under 200 volunteers, but it needs more. There are about 500 kids in the foster care system in the county. Johnson says she's looking to close that gap in the coming years.
So our volunteers actually do a lot. They commit to at least 1 year with the young people and then at least 10 to 15 hours per month. They're going to school meetings, they're going to court hearings, they're writing court reports. They're doing a lot with that young person. We do expect a lot from them. We also do a lot of pre-service training. So before they work with the child, there's background checks, there's screenings, and then there's very intensive training.
And if you'd like to volunteer with CASA of Prince George's, visit the website on your screen. Well, the city of Laurel will be voting tonight on whether to allow collective bargaining for some of its workers. The vote will come after the city council holds its second public hearing on the issue this evening at 6. The council must approve a charter amendment for the ruling to take effect. It would apply only to Department of Public Works employees in Laurel, but supporters say other departments could eventually join as well. Well, a shooting in Landover yesterday leaves 3 people injured. The incident happening at about 8:30 last night on the 7700 block of Greenleaf Road. Police say 2 victims took themselves to the hospital, a third transported from the scene. Authorities say surrounding vehicles were also damaged. And coming up in just a bit, Simon Buggs with sports. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, coming up soon, a recap of some regular as well as postseason games that were played this past weekend. Don't go anywhere.
There were 2 guys. Both guys drove to work. Neither guy wore their seatbelt. One guy got a ticket, one guy didn't. Both guys drove home from work. One guy wore his seatbelt, one guy didn't. One guy made it home. One guy didn't.
Okay everyone, it's time for your Monday sports page. We'll start with the WNBA. The Washington Mystics are now 1-1 on the season after falling to the Connecticut Sun yesterday. The Mystics will lead throughout much of the game yesterday, going into the fourth quarter up 58-57. But in the final period, the Mystics will allow the Sun to go on a 23-16 run and end up losing the game 80-74. The Mystics got beat in multiple categories which contributed to the loss, including three-point percentage, rebounds, steals, and turnovers. The two teams will face off again tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Switching to the major leagues, the Nationals closed out their series against the Detroit Tigers yesterday with a 6-4 win. The Nats did all their damage early, taking a commanding 6-1 lead after 3 innings. The Nationals tied their season high with 18 hits, with Riley Adams having career-high 4 of them. Washington will begin their next series against the San Diego Padres tomorrow at 7:05. Now for the Orioles, they completed their 3-game sweep against the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday, beating them 8-3. The game went into extra innings with the score tied 2-2. By the 11th inning, the score was tied at 3 apiece, but in that inning, the Birds were able to pull away, scoring 5 runs. Their next opponent will be the New York Yankees tomorrow at 7:05. Sticking with baseball, the UMD baseball team was also in action this weekend. They beat Penn State 7-4 in their final regular season game. Their next matchup will be against Michigan State tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the Big Ten tournament. Meantime, the UMD softball team also took the field this past weekend, but they fell to Iowa 4-3 in the NISC postseason tournament. The Lators will look to next year to make a run at the title. And that is your Monday sports page. Simon Bubbs, CTV Sports.
Well, thank you, Simon. Checking now our weather forecast tonight, partly cloudy with lows around 55 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with highs around 74. Wednesday and Thursday, similar forecast, sunny conditions with highs in the 70s. And that's CTV News for now. I'm Byron Scott. Good night.